does he give you that Walter was not giving you, Walter Lewis?
Well, he gives a little more experience in the quarterback position, someone who can pick up those secondary receivers just a little quicker. And we're throwing a few more three-step drop passes and getting rid of the football, not taking quite so many sacks.
Now, you've been known to try a gadget here or there. Last week you started both quarterbacks. Will we see Walter Lewis play today?
Well, we have the gadget play in, but we're not going to start the game. We want them to think. Today we're starting with a power play. That'll be the unusual for me.
All right, Pepper. Good luck.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom, in Atlanta, Georgia. I love you.
There you go. Good luck. Thanks for stopping by. KJ.
Thank you, Timmy, and we are ready to go with Houston receiving the football. This man, Don Besselou, will be kicking off. He kicked off for Pepper at Georgia Tech, kicked off for the Miami Dolphins some. The reason he's out there today instead of Duncan is simply because Pepper wanted an extra tackler on the field. And why would he want that? Because of the speed of the returners for Houston. Verdun. And Verdun has the ball. And Verdun is caught and slammed down. And you don't think they're not pumped up? Ricky Porter, running back, coming down the field, jumped all over him. Verdun was averaging just under 30 yards per return, and that time he only got 9. So they dared to kick it right to him and then nailed him inside the 20. And Jim Kelley comes trotting out on the field to start the run and shoot with Todd Fowler lined up behind him. Richard Johnson, Clarence Verdun of the split backs with McNeil and Scott McGee, the wide receivers. And the football is precisely on the 14-yard line. Taylor, Boucher, Kidd, Roberson, and Ream, the offensive front for the Houston Gamblers. It is Sam Harrell who opens the ball game, not Todd Fowler. And they'll throw it. Kelley hit just as he delivers, and it is intercepted at the 25-yard line. Mossy Cade, number 3, came whistling across and picked off the football, and the Showboats are knocking on the door as they intercept Kelley's first pass.
The first play of the ball game, chalk one up for the defensive line and for the secondary. Mossy Cade picking that one off. First round draft choice also in the National Football League out of Texas. Mossy Cade just stepped right in front of this Kelley pass. You see he's got the angle. The ball's thrown well. The receiver, number 88, McGee, just couldn't come back and make a play for the ball.
And so Mike Kelley now goes to the quarterback position as they line up with Harry Sidney and Tim Spencer in the I formation. First down on the 25, and it's a broken play as Mike Kelley has to keep the ball, and he dives ahead to about the 22-yard line. He was turning to give the ball to somebody, but there was nobody to give it to. And the offensive alignment goes this way for the Memphis Showboats. Sidney and Spencer, Greg Moser, who was with Houston previously but ran out of numbers over there, Derek Crawford, who is a flyer, and Gary Shirk, the tight end. Sharp, McGriff, Reuben Smith, and Huffman, the big guys up front. It is second down and 7 Memphis from the Houston 22. Mike Kelley to the air, throws too high. Pass intended for Greg Moser, 185-pound six-footer out of the University of Oregon.
Yeah, Mike Mitchell covering on that play, Keith. He was open, and as you said, Kelley just got the ball up a little bit too high.
The Houston defensive alignment, Cooks, Hughes, Taylor, and Caton getting feet back, a big help for them. The Hawkins brothers and Kika Diallo, the linebackers, and the secondary, Mitchell, Lewis, Myers, and Bradley. Luther, of course, the veteran. Spencer out, Ricky Porter is in on 3rd and 7. Ricky Porter out of Slippery Rock, and back goes Mike Kelley. Good protection, goes underneath with it. Pass caught by Harry Sidney out of the backfield, and Harry is knocked down around the 16-yard line. So Pepper Rogers got to make a decision now. Does he go ahead and go for 3 on 4th down, or does he try to stick it in the end zone?
I think with the kind of strength he has on his offensive line, Keith, he might as well go ahead and take the chance here. Houston can put up a lot of points on the scoreboard. You're not going to beat them just by kicking field goals. You have to get 6 points on, make the touchdowns, take advantage of every opportunity because they can come back at you very, very quickly in so many different ways.
He needs about 1.5 yards on 4th down. Double tight end alignment. Van Heflin replacing Mark Rao. The ball goes to the deep man. The dive by Porter, and Porter is short of the yardage needed. They have hit him at the line of scrimmage and stopped him a couple of yards short, and the ball will go over. And the Gamblers have got to feel that they dodged the problem right there.
Keith, I think that was inexperience there. There's no hole. Whenever a guy has to go through a situation like that, look how high they're blocking in front of him. He has to get up about 6 feet before he even clears anyone.
If he'd have slanted it, he might have had a chance at it. So Memphis has a big opportunity, and they can't cash it in. Well, this is the Memphis defensive alignment, and they certainly gave the opportunity offense a grand opportunity. Clancy, White, and Clark, and Corker, Rose, Hammond, Coakley linebackers. The secondary of Cade and Coleman at the corners with Bessalou and Barney Bussey. But Houston held them, and it's first down for the Gamblers at their own 17. Actually picked up 3 yards on that exchange, and there's that little pop pass going out to Richard Johnson, former running back out of the University of Colorado, and having overcome a severe hamstring problem, Richard just zips out to the 31.
And you see when he comes off the line of scrimmage, there's no one who is directly over the top of Johnson. That's an automatic, Keith. That's an option they have in the pass system. He should look for the ball right as he comes off the line of scrimmage. He does. Kelley drops it in there before the linebacker can get to the outside.
Ricky Sanders, number 80, is in the lineup in a split-back position, replacing Verdun now. He, too, coming off severe injury. Kelley pumps it once, wings it out to Johnson. Johnson is going to pick up about 6-7 yards on that carry before Mossy Cade knocks him out of bounds. Richard Johnson, the former running back, as we told you, gets into a 1-and-1 situation a lot, and most of the time Richard is going to get something out of it, and as you can see, he had a big ball game in Portland last week.
And all those touchdown catches he makes, all the catches, like the two you saw here, aren't real big ones in terms of distance. He'll get the catches for you, make 7, 8, 9, 10 yards, keep that drive alive. This is the same as ball control for most other teams.
Second down and 3 from the 38. Kelley rolls it left, goes over their left side with it, and that's going to be a first down to Ricky Sanders, 5'11", 170, played his football at Southwest Texas. So he got out there and juked a couple of times and knew he was very close to the marker. He could afford to take a little time waiting for somebody to take a misstep. They wouldn't do it, so he just stepped on past the marker. Jack Pardee, the head coach of the Houston Gamblers, and Pepper Rogers of the Memphis Showboats. Jack, great player in the NFL, out of Texas A&M. Kelley again, very quick. Sanders a little bit high to Ricky, and he couldn't pull it down, get it under control. He had flooded that zone, and he chose the inside man, and the ball was just a little high to him.
Keith, the Memphis Showboats have a little bit of an advantage coming into this ball game, having already played the Denver Gold, the only other team that runs a run-and-shoot offense, so they have seen it to some degree. They also have Greg Moser on the offensive team, who played for the Houston Gamblers, so he's been able to give this secondary some insight into what the system is all about, so they should be very well acquainted and play it as well as anyone.
Little pop pass to Sanders. Ricky Sanders is caught by the linebacker, short of the first down. He gets up close to the 48-yard line as the inside backers Hammond and Coakley got him. They tell you one thing, you better be quick when he gets in there between you.
The secondary is giving him room. You see right here the cushion the safety people are giving, the corners are off. So that's why he's going to the short, quick passes before the linebackers can get out and cover. What he hopes to do by this is to draw the secondary up, probably in the man-to-man coverage, and then try and go by them deep.
It's third down and 4 with Harrell, the deep man. Sam was moving before the snap of the ball. The pass is thrown to Richard Johnson, and Johnson takes a lick from Will Coakley and can't control the pass.
That is pepper ball. That is what Pepper Rogers meant by letting the big dog hunt. One of the reasons why he put Don Bessalou on the kickoff team, he intends to come out here and play the most physical and aggressive game of football he can. He said, yes, the receivers will make catches. Yes, they will score some points, but they are going to pay the biggest price that he can make them pay.
Henry Williams goes deep as the punter comes on. Dale Walters. Dale out of Rice, Henry Williams from East Carolina, and Walters has been an inconsistent punter. Williams is a very dangerous receiver. He's only 5'6". You can lose sight of him as he scoots back and forth behind his blocker. Not a very good kick. Tail dragger that takes a bounce right into the arms of Williams, who cannot get away. Good coverage downfield. Williams is brought down at the 18 of Memphis. It was a 35-yard punt, a 2-yard return, and Calvin Eason brought him down. So at 10:50 to go in the first quarter of play, it's a 0-0 ball game. That's the statistical story of the Memphis Showboats offense. But they had a grand opportunity when Cade intercepted Kelley in the early going of this first quarter and did not score from the 25 as they elected to go for the touchdown instead of the 3. Now they'll go to work from near the 19. First down. Mike Kelley will go to the air early here to Moser, and Moser gets just past the marker and out of bounds around the 31 for a first down in front of Mike Mitchell. Let's join Tim Brandt now in a very warm Liberty Bowl and talk with Will Coakley.
Keith, I know Swanee cringes every time he sees a receiver get a lick like that, but Will, that's one whale of a hit, and it really seemed to fire the entire team up.
Well, I'll tell you, it was third down about 5, and we knew that they might be coming out and trying to hit that short man. That's exactly what they did. They tried to hit him real quick, and I was just over there to make the hit.
All right, Will. Keith?
Thank you, Tim. It's first down for the Showboats at their 31. Houston's caught in the neutral zone. The flag thrown on it. Kelley with a free play here. Running now. And he has to pull it down and runs out of bounds to protect his body because when that flag went up, it looked like some of the receivers kind of gave up on the pattern.
I think so. Also, it looked like, I don't know whether it was the right guard, Ken Smith, or right tackle, David Huffman, looked like they may have also flinched. And if the man's in the neutral zone, okay, they call it on the defense. Probably drawing the movement on the offense.
That's a 5-yard penalty, which brings a threat from Jack Hardy. No score here in the first quarter. Ball comes out to the 37. That's the 72nd Houston penalty of the season. They've been flagged a lot. Trying to anticipate. Ball is handed off to Tim Spencer. And Spencer, who has labored all season with a very sore leg and ankle, looked pretty strong that time as he's running up the middle of the field. There isn't much grass in the middle of the field here at the Liberty Bowl, and Spencer spinning around picks up the first down.
A lot of sand there so you can lose your traction. Tim Spencer told Pepper Rogers that he feels good, he wants to play more, and Tim Spencer's the kind of back key who has to carry the ball 15 to 20 to 23 times a ball game to start feeling good.
He gets stronger. A lot of running backs do that. Out of Ohio State. It's first down. The ball is just over the 45. As Mike Kelley again drops and throws underneath. Nope, didn't either. He went outside to Derek Crawford, and Crawford out of Memphis State. Derek Crawford, perhaps in sheer foot speed, is as fast as anybody.
Derek Crawford runs about a 4.3, 4.4 on the 40-yard dash. Right here, he's got Will Lewis, number 24, who'll be playing underneath, and Will has his back turned towards the ball. Very good pass by Kelley. Throws it right by his head. He's looking in the backfield. The ball's already gone. Then there was number 37 coming over, Tommy Myers, the free safety, to put him out of bounds and stop him from scoring a touchdown.
And the Showboats are first down at the Houston 39. Well, this time the right guard of the Memphis offense, Ken Smith, took a little jump before the snap, so they lose the 5, and it'll take them back to the 44.
Look here, he just got off a little bit early on the snap count. Leaning forward. Ken Smith, 275. The other guard on the left side is number 68, an old friend of mine, Tyrone McGriff. I promised everyone I wouldn't tell Tyrone got up to 325 pounds during the offseason, but he's down considerably now. I think to about 290.
Is caught inside the 15 by Van Heflin, the tight end. Penalty flag following the catch.
First year ball player out of Vanderbilt. Same school that Coleman, cornerback on defense, went to.
That's a pretty good catch. They were all over it.
Great catch. A very good pass by Mike Kelley gave him a chance to go up for it.
Bill Parkinson, the referee.
What was that call, Pete? I couldn't quite understand what he said.
It's against Heflin.
We'll take another look at it, see if we can spot it. Kelley rolling out. You see, he gives him a little confidence. That's his first catch of the season. He goes up and really takes it. I can't see where the penalty is.
I couldn't hear it. And the echoes here in the stadium, and I didn't have his mic hot into our lines, so I don't know what he said.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Keith, if he didn't inadvertently just point in the wrong direction.
Spiking the ball.
Spiking the ball, okay.
Okay. Carried away with his first catch, and it cost him 5. The ball comes back to about the 17 as Kelley steps up to throw, and is caught. And they call him in the grasp as fighting his way in is Pete Caton for his first tackle of the ball game.
Pete Caton was working against a very good one, Louis Sharp, number 67. We just got him this year out of St. Louis. Pete Caton had a herniated disc and had it operated on. They removed it. Took quite a long time to recuperate, and of course you want to take your time with this. We're going back to play here. That's Van Heflin, number 88, from the spike. After he caught the pass, you're not going to see that called very often.
No, it's also it's in the book as delay of game. The ball is now outside the 25 as Memphis is backing up. They had the ball inside the 15, but the penalty and the sack put them back down the middle. It's Moser. And Moser is down to about the 8-yard line. Kelley with some zip on the ball took it right down the middle to Greg Moser between Bradley and Mitchell.
Zip on the time, also, zip on the ball rather, also a lot of time. We'll take a look at an isolation of Greg Moser. He's coming down the field working against the zone. You saw him right there, looping in behind Luther Bradley. He's got Mike Mitchell over the top. Kelley finds him right in the middle. He knows there are lots of people around, so as soon as he caught that ball, he kept it in his stomach. He protected it so it wouldn't pop out.
Measuring for the first down.
Greg Moser is not the fastest receiver, Keith. He only runs about a 4.6, but he runs a good, quick 4.6.
Just short. Kelley now, 5 out of 6 for 83 yards for the Showboats. He's hit 5 in a row, and they're about a foot short of a first and goal. The nose of the ball just touching the Houston 7-yard line. 7:35 to go in the first quarter. Now they've got Spencer in there at the deep spot with Harris Sidney lined up in front of him. Both tough runners. Give it to Spencer, and he's got the first down as he slants it right and goes inside the 5. It'll be first and goal for the Memphis Showboats.
They're playing excellent football. Most of the players have told me that this was the best week of practice they've had all season long. Everybody very confident up, ready to play this football game. They're somewhat embarrassed from the last time they had played Houston when they really had their shorts handed to them in that ball game.
37-3. Ooh. Well, their big win of the season may have come against the Birmingham Stallions here a week ago Friday night. They popped them 38-24, and it wasn't really that close.
Birmingham has the #1 defense in the USFL.
Kelley rolls it left. Got a man in front of him. He'll keep it and score. Guard Ken Smith, 275-pounder out of Miami, Ohio, is going to lead Kelley.
Now, Walter Lewis is number 10 backing up Kelley. He's a man known for all the foot speed and running with the football, but Kelley is not afraid to take it. Did a real good job reading the block by Ken Smith. He took the man to the outside. He cut up inside, took a lick, got the touchdown.
Alan Duncan for the extra point. It is good. Well, Memphis was down there knocking on the door early at the 25 and didn't do anything with it, so they come back to their own 19 and then march it downfield, 81 yards for the touchdown. And at 6 minutes and 31 seconds to play in the first quarter, the Showboats are out on top 7-0. And when you get out in front of the Houston Gamblers, that's a very, very important thing. That's the one thing you don't want to do is get behind against Houston. 6:31 to go. First quarter, Memphis on top 7-0. Is it time for the gimmick play? I don't know. Nothing he would do surprised me, including an onside kick.
Pepper does march to a different drummer sometimes, Keith.
Number 47, John Besselou. He's to receive the Houston Gamblers.
I'm going to keep an eye on Besselou and just see how fast he does cover his own kick, Keith.
There's your onside kick. And coming up to make the acceptance for the Houston Gamblers at midfield is Billy Kidd, an offensive guard. So Kidd got a good bounce off the try for the onside kick by Bessalou, and Houston gets the ball at midfield.
I was taking a pretty big chance, especially this early in the ball game and only a 7-point lead. See Bessalou kicking it off, letting the ball roll. They're hoping it bounces up high where their guys can just get to it. They didn't have a chance.
It didn't work in this instance, but if it had.
Just like we all know. Yeah, but Houston is so dangerous. I'd hate to give him field position with only a 7-point lead, too.
Well, they've got it now from midfield. Kelley goes to work. Jim quickly bangs it in there, and he's open. It's Richard Johnson, and he's down to the 35-yard line. Now they'll mark him 36-yard line. 14-yard pickup on the play, and he was just a breath away from really going all the way. Carlton Rose, an outside linebacker, is the man that makes the tackle for Memphis.
And they are so quick, Keith. If they get a half a step on you and they're able to turn the corner and start running north and south, too many people back there are going to catch up to him. Mossy Taylor have to just fly around that field from near the corner. He's the kind of guy on the secondary with that kind of foot speed to keep up. We had him covered. All we had to do was just hit any kind of kick.
From the 36, first down. Ball juggled by Ricky Sanders, but he holds on, and it's a short game. And there was, at that time, very good coverage. Arnie Bussey was up there, but didn't get a chance to lay a lick on him.
That'll cost him 15 push-ups, Keith. Receiver Coach Ford says anytime his receivers juggle a ball, have to bounce it around and catch it, got to pay by doing 15 push-ups as soon as they get back to Houston.
The Tampa Bay Bandits, leaders of the Eastern Conference, have gone out 7-0 over Jacksonville in the first quarter. Game in Jacksonville to Peterborough. Second down and 7. Kelley pumps it, puts it in the corner, and that's going to get a flag. Mossy Cade grabbed Vince Corville long before the ball got there.
Mossy Cade knew he was beat, didn't know exactly where the ball was. Had he been able to turn around, Keith, and look for the ball, he would have realized he had a little bit more time, could have made a play for it, but instead just reached out and slammed Corville to the ground instead of giving up the quick touchdown.
That could be called intentional, but it's not going to be, or is it? Let's see. They called it intentional, and they're going to put it down on the 2. So that would normally be, unless it was considered intentional, a 15-yard penalty. But this time they rule it the other way.
We saw a similar case of this last week, Keith. It was pass interference. It was called unintentional because the defensive back, while he made the tackle, also got one hand up, even though he never turned and looked for the ball to make it look like he was going for the football. Mossy Cade made no attempt to cover it up. All he did was go for the tackle, so it's intentional. He'll get the ball at the 2-yard line.
Todd Fowler is the running back. Kelley throws in the end zone, and it's batted down and almost intercepted. He's lucky to get that one back. Arnie Bussey, I think it was, flashing across the middle. 200-pounder out of South Carolina State.
We'll take a look at it on the replay. You know Houston's going to throw the football, even in short yardage. But right there, Arnie Bussey wishes he had picked that one off.
Second down and goal. Kelley's hit, fumble, and Memphis may have the ball. They do have the ball. Carlton Rose came blasting through along with Calvin Clark. And the Showboats have turned away the Houston Gamblers after the Gamblers had it first and goal inside the 2.
Calvin Clark, with an escort of defensive personnel, ran the length of the field, felt he was not touched, but the officials marked him down back at the 10-yard line. So again, the defense comes up with a great play. The defensive line, the pressure on Kelley, hit on the blind side right there by Rose, and he loses the football. You see it one more time. Coming from the outside, the blind side. There's no fullback there to pick him up. Rose comes in a good rush. It's a great turnover. So now it's the Gamblers with another chance to put points on the scoreboard.
What would you have guessed that Houston wouldn't score first and goal inside the 2?
I thought, Keith, it was a sure thing. A sure thing, but defense came up, and it's a pressure, pepper ball, an attitude, whatever you want to say. Let the big dogs hunt. That time it was Rhodes who caught his prey.
They have to be a little preoccupied with guys like Reggie White and Sam Clancy in the defensive trenches, too.
And Corker.
Yes, and Corker. Anthony Parker now is lined up in the I-back. They give it instead to the up man, and that's Spencer. So Spencer plays, no, it's Sidney. Now it's Parker. I'll get it right yet. Parker plays in the up position instead of Sidney, so they alternated that position. Memphis now is flagged for a motion penalty. Spencer would be the deep man. Parker is a 205-pounder, and he, too, played at Memphis State. So he's playing in front of the home folks.
Coming into this ball game in the area of takeaway giveaways, Keith, Houston led just by 1 over Memphis. They had a +4, and Memphis had a +3. Well, with those with the 2 interceptions, the interception and the fumble, that puts Memphis up at a +5 and drops Houston down to a +2. And it's quickly becoming the story here in the first half.
And it's 1st and 15. The ball is back at the 5. Kelley hands the ball to Tim Spencer. And the former Buckeye is up to about the 8. So it'll be 2nd down and 12. They don't play many day games here in Memphis. They don't have any more the rest of this season. And they don't play many Sundays either. But there's a good reason for it, because it's hot in the daytime here from now on.
Hot, sticky, and wet. Humidity is high. That keeps Tennessee green.
Better under the shade tree and out here bumping helmets. Mike Kelley on 2nd down. Plants at the goal line, throws underneath. Pass caught by Anthony Parker. And Parker's thrown out around the 10. And the 15. So now the original possession was at the 10, so they've still got to get the ball just over the 20 in order to get the first down.
Quarterback for the Showboats team, Gary Huff, played in Chicago when Jack Pardee was there. And looking at the Houston defense, he said it's the same as the defense they played in Chicago. So he has a very good feel for this defense. I think was able to communicate that knowledge to the offensive team. That's Lewis Sharp there. He's got a microphone in his helmet for this ball game.
Put in 3 wide receivers, spin around and hand the ball to Anthony Parker, and Parker can't even begin to get started as the middle of the defensive front was there to get him quickly, and it brings up 4th down and the punting situation for Memphis as Bob Grupp comes trotting in, and Gerald McNeil, who's double poison on the punt return, goes deep for the Gamblers.
Early in the season, it was about the same spot on the football field down in Tampa. He ran one back for a touchdown. Bob's got to get a good high punt, let his people get down to cover.
Rupp is averaging right at 41, and he's capable of good hang time. Pressure on him. Not a particularly good kick, but it should take a Memphis roll, and it does, and rolls inside the 40 and on down to the 35. So he gets more out of it, really, than one might have thought. A 52-yard punt. But there was tremendous pressure as he came back.
Watch how close he comes to being blocked. Guy in the air right there. If he left his leg out there a little bit, Keith, might have gotten hit. And a flag and retained possession of the ball, but there was a flag thrown on the field.
The flag was up beyond the line of scrimmage, thrown by a linesman. So it probably means somebody got off the mark too soon. Rupp's going to have to do it again. It did not involve the kicker.
I don't see how anybody could have gotten off the line too soon on that one, because he had to get it off awfully quick.
That's right.
God almighty, damn. I know how you feel, Pepper. Ain't no fun having to kick it all over again when the first one was pretty darn good.
52-yarders don't come that often. Get this man down too soon.
Bob Grupp also has to be a little bit concerned about the kind of pressure he received in the last punt. Let's see if he gets it off a little bit faster, gets it up a little bit higher. That last one was only in the air about 2 seconds.
He has no pressure this time as Houston fields back for a return. McNeil's got to let it bounce. It's short. Takes it at midfield. Got a block on the corner. And down he goes at the 32. It was a saving tackle by Harry Sidney. It was a good punt of 48 yards, but the negative side for Memphis was that McNeil got a block to get him around the corner and returned it 25 yards. Watch this block right here now.
Great block right there, just coming back. That's what the people on the special teams look for, those little pillback blocks. The guy doesn't see you coming. Inflict a little punishment. That 5-yard penalty may have cost him 5 yards back, cost an additional 35 yards in the return.
We know the quality of the facility is outstanding, so who knows? And that little motion along the line gets flagged before they can get the play off. We've got 1:12 to play in the first quarter. Memphis sort of teetering on the brink right now because they've had an early opportunity to get it in, didn't, finally came back with an 81-yard march and did take the 7-0 lead, and then they finally get a breakout here with a long 52-yard punt, and they make a mistake getting a man downfield too soon, and now they've just been flagged again. So they've been hit with 6 flags for 57 yards here in the first quarter.
Got off to a great start.
Ball is on the 21. It's first down and 5 for Houston. Kelley gives the ball to Sam Harrell, and Sam runs it to the 15.
Playing their basic defensive linemen, 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and all they're saying is, we're going to give you the same kind of defensive front that you'd see if we were playing against New Jersey and Herschel Walker. We're going to just take the run away from you. And, you know, not that Houston's going to run an awful lot. It says we're just going to definitely take away from you and come after you.
That was their first running play of the game. It resulted in 7 yards and a first down at the 15. Kelley back, gets it off quickly, throws it a little bit behind Clarence Verdun.
Yeehaw!
Verdun is thrown down rather quickly. Short of the line of scrimmage, or did they give his mark upfield? No, they marked him just about the line of scrimmage. Don Besselou.
Number 47, play for Miami. Now, he reminds me of something I was watching yesterday at Teenage Rodeo right next to the stadium here. It's like one of those young kids wrestling a steer down to the ground. Everybody I know who played 47 was a tough player, too. You know what? Pittsburgh.
First quarter's over. And after 1 period of play at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, the Showboats, the home team, have a 7-0 lead over the Houston Gamblers. The other key games of the Eastern Conference today, Tampa Bay, the leaders, leading Jacksonville 7-0 in the second quarter of play. And Baltimore, New Jersey is scoreless. Game being played at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands. The ball is marked just inside the 15. Second down and about 9 for the Houston Gamblers as we start the second quarter of play. Jim Kelley hit as he started his motion downfield. That's got to be an incomplete forward pass.
Parkinson, sickeningly it was. Arm was moving forward. They got pressure from the backside from number 90, Sam Clancy. Came charging in. He'll be coming in from the left of your picture right here. Kelley with his back to him. He'll get picked up by someone here. I think it was Scott Boucher who picked him up right here, but he's able to just get his hands on the body.
Sam Clancy was at Pittsburgh and gave up his senior. He quit playing football his senior year and concentrated on basketball, and then was with the Pittsburgh Maulers a year ago. Had a hamstring problem that's been bothering him for 2 years. Third down for the Gamblers. Kelley's pass into the corner, incomplete, intended for Johnson. Besselou broke it up.
One of the things that the defensive line for the Showboats is doing, Keith, whenever they send a man in motion, you might see that defensive line shift. right, now watch the defensive line. Oh, they've already shifted. Reggie White is on the outside, just charging in. He takes out Todd Fowler, number 46. But watch the defensive play here by Bessalou, just taking the angle away, coming across. Good experienced play, being in the right position, if not that close.
Tony Fritsch is on the ball game now. 93% on his field goal tries this year. This is from 32 yards. That marvelous physical specimen from Austria. Restaurateur and raconteur. Hits it. Good. So the Gamblers get on the board as Tony Fritsch knocks one through from 32 yards out at 14:43 to go in the first half. I guess the best thing to be said here, Lynn Swan, is the fact that the 2 turnovers by Houston really didn't hurt him, didn't damage him.
No, because the Showboats couldn't convert it into any kind of points at all. So, they have an advantage with the yards and possession.
Walters kicks it off and gets a lot of foot into it for Henry Williams, a yard deep in the end zone. Good hole up the middle for Henry, and he fumbles the football, and it's picked up by Dale Walters, the kicker. Bounced right into his arm. And it's a turnover in favor of the Houston Gamblers.
That's a real big break for them. Things starting to even up a little bit. Take a look at Henry Williams. He takes this. He's got to make a decision. He's got plenty of room, so you can't force the decision to come out. But the hole opens up too soon. The hole opens up big. Now it's closing up down the field. As he comes charging in, someone must have got a helmet or a hand on that ball and just popped away from him. He had no chance to recover it. Like a long rebound on the basketball rim.
So a 7-3 ball game, Memphis. And here's Houston. Cooking again on the Showboats 33. First down. Kelley quickly zips one to the sidelines. Gerald McNeil thrown out of bounds. Around what? Just inside the 29. Mark it on the 28. Leonard Coleman slapping his hands together, feeling that he didn't do what he felt he could do on that play. He was off McNeil just enough, and Kelley had enough zip on the ball to get it there.
Well, Gerald McNeil out of Baylor. I think Leonard Coleman just wanted to inflict a little more punishment, Pete.
Gain 5, second down 5. Again, Sanders, and double coverage on Ricky Sanders, and he's bumped out around the 25. So they're a couple of yards short of the first down.
We're quickly seeing that Houston has to stay with that very short and very fast passing game, Pete, because Kelley is not getting the time to go deep. What they're going to try and do is hope that once they complete a short pass, those receivers can turn upfield and turn the short catch into a long game.
Trying to get the lead in the ball game. Memphis leading now 7-3. Second quarter. Kelley again, quickly, boom, no good. Intended for Corville. He threw the ball in front of Cade, but actually the ball was not catchable for Corville.
The young Lions on the corner are hungry.
Tony's back with his kicking tee as the third down play here misses.
You see the ball right there being thrown, but Mossy Cade never did back up, Keith. He anticipated the short pass pattern. He had a deep drop. He just took one step back to plant himself and then came charging forward to break on the ball.
Just a few moments ago, Tony Fritsch hit one from 32. Now he's going from 43. And between the 40 and 50, Tony is 4 out of 4 this year. The holder is Tommy Myers. Carl Allen does the snapping. And he got it. I mean, it was by a whimper. There wasn't a whole lot of air left in the ball when it went over the crossbar, but Tony's done it successively here in the second quarter, and it's now a 7-6 ball game. He does the kickoffs, and I would imagine that Henry Williams will put both hands on the ball this time.
Do you think if Tony Fritsch had been kicking off, he would have been able to recover that one the last time down?
Why, of course. To the goal line. Williams coming up the middle, looks at the wedge, and down he goes, short of the 20. The Memphis mistakes now beginning to become the obvious thing in the ball game for them, though they lead 7-6. They've been flagged 6 times for penalties. They've been sacked 1 time and fumbled it away 1 time.
When they've had the opportunity to score, they haven't taken the maximum advantage of it. Houston says when they play a football game, they want to come out and score 35, 37 points a game. We've seen them do it too often.
From the 18, first down for Memphis, with Sidney and Spencer behind Mike Kelley. Spencer. Good blocking on the right side of the line, and Tim Spencer used all of it and picks up 8 yards. Here's Tony now.
Keith, that wind is really whipping here, Tony, and I've got to believe now you've hit 2 for 2 in the field goal department. Are you playing that wind? How are you doing it?
Yeah, you have to watch out because that's an open stadium. The wind is gusting around, you know, on the sideline. You think you kick with the wind, you walk on the field, the wind blow against you. So you do have to watch out, and that's the number one enemy from a kick is the wind, you know, especially when you don't know from where he comes.
Delightful man. Across the 30 to the 32 goes Tim Spencer. He looks stronger, I believe, today, 20, than I've seen him this season.
I believe you're right, and he's running very well early here in the ball game, and he continues to pick up steam. I think you're going to see the Memphis Showboats utilize him a bit more because they came out throwing the ball the majority of the time in the first quarter.
Now, with George Allen in Chicago and in Arizona, Spencer and Kevin Long, George loves to run that ball left-handed, and Spencer was very, very effective in running to the left. He's got 31 yards and 5 carries now. On the first down, play action as Kelley shoots it, and it is incomplete. Defending on the play, Tommy Myers, the free safety, and the pass intended for the tight end, Gary Shirk. Tiki Diala, very active middle linebacker for the Houston Gamblers, former Longhorn.
Other stories from the United States Football League in the second quarter. Baltimore and New Jersey no score. Also in the second quarter, Jacksonville 3, Tampa Bay
11:24 to go in the first half. 7-6 Memphis. The ball is near the 32 of Memphis. And it's second down and 10 with Leonard Williams now into the ball game out of Western Carolina, coming off a severe leg injury early in the season. And Williams has the ball. And obviously it's going to take a little while before Leonard Williams hits his stride, but he started out the season like a hurricane running that football. It is now 14-3, the Tampa Bay Bandits over the Jacksonville Bulls. So the Bulls have beaten New Jersey and Birmingham successively. They're having some problems today with Tampa Bay. Move back, guys. Third and long now, third down and 7 for Memphis. Back goes Kelley. Oh boy, is that complete? Yep. I don't know how in the world Greg Moser caught it, but because I thought Mike Mitchell was going to have it and headed the other direction with it. But he went apparently right through Mitchell's arms, and Moser grabbed it and hung on. But it is short of the first down by a yard and a half.
Mike Mitchell came up on a real tight coverage, jammed him about 3 yards downfield, really destroyed the pattern for the most part. Right there, Greg Moser just reaches out, takes it away from Mike Mitchell.
That's a heck of a catch.
Great catch.
Preventing an interception.
It's still short of the first down.
Rupp is in. His first kick was 52, wiped out, came back with a 48, but McNeil returned that one 25. And McNeil is deep now, and that wind may be in his face in this direction. Let's see what happens to the ball. Well, it's a good high hanger, and the wind is in his face. It kind of hangs up there, and the ball goes out of bounds. McNeil racing toward it. What happens when you get a ball that doesn't have a tight spiral, it's sort of knuckling up there, and that much wind, it just falls straight down, sometimes falling away from you, and McNeil, who can run about at least a 4.40, just never really got to it to make the catch. Pepper Rogers and his Memphis Showboats right now leading 7-6, 9:42 to go in the first half. Houston Gamblers have the ball, first down at their 33. Houston's starting position, 20 in the game, has been their own 14, their own 17. Then they started getting lucky. They had one at the 50, one at the 26. Now they're setting at the 33. Kelley gives the ball to Todd Fowler. Fowler bounces off the first row of tacklers. Bangs his way across the 45 for a first down.
All they did was start the same kind of rollout action they've been using early in the ball game, but this time they gave it to Todd Fowler. Let him cut back against the grain, and Todd Fowler looks for people to run over, likes to inflict punishment. Of course, last week he got the short end of the deal, coming across the middle. Took an elbow in the head, got 8 stitches in the side of his right eye, and a concussion. He was out of that ball game quickly.
Pop play. Works too. Richard Johnson goes for another Houston first down as he gets it to the 43 of Memphis. That is so quick. You just can't do anything about it.
Yeah, so quick it almost got Will Corkley and Don Vesselou in a little trouble. They both tried to hit him. They missed him. They almost get each other. Right there. Who was that that came flying in there? Was that the human projectile? Barney Bussey.
Barney Bussey.
Reminds me, he went to South Carolina. Reminds me a lot of Donnie Shell, who also came from South Carolina State, and he's just a mean hitter. One time he had Hugh Campbell broke 2 of his ribs in one game, one shot.
Kelley is caught. Flips it back to Fowler. They're going to whistle it dead back there. There's a referee, Bill Parkinson, threw the flag. And they're going to call Houston for holding. Todd Fowler apparently was holding early, then drifted away from the play. John Corker was the man tormenting Jim Kelley.
Pepper Rogers was complaining to the official that they have to pay a little more attention and watch the holding by the Houston offensive line. That time he got his wish. They were paying attention. John Corker played for the Michigan Panthers, has never lost to the Houston Gamblers. You see right here, Kelley dropping back to pass. Let's see if we can spot the holding for you. Todd Fowler at
early.
Right behind him there.
Ball comes back to the 48 of Memphis. We're at second down and 15. Kelley back under all kinds of pressure, gets the ball away to Richard Johnson, gets a block from Harrell, tries to get around the corner and can't outrun the pursuit. Coming over is Mossy Cade to bring him down.
Mossy Cade, he's fast, he's quick, he's strong.
There's a penalty flag over there amidst the melee.
The way Cade is standing, he doesn't like what he's hearing. Arms out, pleading, on his hips, disgusted. That's why.
Declined. Unsportsmanlike penalty on number 3 is accepted.
So you get a little bit of conversation sometimes, can get you into some trouble depending on what it is you might have said. Here's the play as you look at it visually, but what followed, they declined the face mask penalty, inadvertent, which would be 5 yards. They choose to accept the larger penalty of unsportsmanlike conduct, which puts the ball down inside the Memphis 32.
I don't know all those gestures mean, except he's not too happy with the call. Keith, I couldn't see the face mask call.
I didn't see it either.
Johnson, he may have had his back to us, and maybe he just reached over and brushed along the side of it, but it didn't look like his head bobbed at all from grabbing the face mask.
Pepper's hot. Kelley gives the ball to Harrell, and Sam breaks it pretty well. He's close to a first down, maybe a yard short, just inside the 24. Vesselou and Calvin Clark bring him down. Reggie White haven't called his name yet today. They've been handling the big nose tackle pretty well.
Reggie was a defensive end when he played for the University of Tennessee. He likes playing on the outside as opposed to playing on the inside. Takes advantage of his quickness. He's up just 285 pounds, added on a few pounds, got married about 4 months ago, and so it's that good home cooking, Keith.
They put it on the 24. It's 2 yards short of the first down. Second down. Passes away to Ricky Sanders. Double coverage on Sanders, but Ricky has the first down. as Cade and Bussey come up and hit him with some authority.
With Jim Kelley not having a lot of time to drop back and throw the football, cornerbacks are playing the receivers very tough in terms of coming up, making the aggressive hit. They're not playing too far off of them. If they start playing a little bit closer, Keith, I think you're going to see them getting their hands on the ball more often, maybe picking off a few more of Kelley's passes.
I have the feeling, though, and I haven't even looked at the clock to check the actual time, but 5:45 to go. Houston seems to have had the ball a lot here in the second quarter.
Quite a bit in the second quarter. They've driven down the length of the field, handling them well, but they still have not come away with any touchdowns. 2 field goals.
Fowler's back in the setback position. First down from the 20. Give it to Fowler. Pretty good run by Todd, who will be going to the Dallas Cowboys next year. Runs the ball inside the 15, close to the 13.
One of the things that's happening, Keith, is that number 53, you see him right there, John Corker, takes himself out of the play by the angle which he rushes. He rushes upfield looking more for Kelley than for any handoff coming in underneath. His angle is bad, therefore he can't make the play.
Fowler picked up 7, second down 3. Incomplete. In and out of the arms of Richard Johnson. Mossy Cade, the man that broke it apart.
Looked like number 90, Sam Clancy, may have been, I thought someone was underneath Keith. Looked like he might have jumped up in the air and tipped it before he got back into the secondary. And maybe that was just Mossy Cade I saw there.
Kelley is now 12 out of 20. 74 yards, has been intercepted 1 time. He's looking at 3rd down and 3 now. Ball just short of the Memphis 13.
I'll tell you, the defense for the Memphis Showboats, Keith, is playing a very good football game so far in the first half. They're holding to only 6 points, 2 field goals, creating turnovers when they're under pressure. Let's see what happens here.
Give it to Fowler, and Fowler gets the first down. As Todd Fowler out of Stephen F. Austin College, running hard, is inside the 10. They put him at the 8-yard line, so it's 1st and goal to go for the Houston Gamblers. It's the 2nd time in the game they've been down in this neighborhood, a 1st and goal. They had it after an intentional pass interference call inside the 2, but then Kelley was blindsided and fumbled it away.
You see right there, Corker, probably again Johnson, number 22, is in motion, just gets underneath and makes him go up in the air, but again, Corker was running to the outside. They hand the ball off to Todd, who goes inside.
Kelley incomplete. Intended for Richard Johnson. This time it's Leonard Coleman who is there to break up the play.
Now they're going for the short passes. They're in deep. They're inside the 10-yard line of the Memphis Showboats. That compresses the field down. They're only working on a 20-yard football field. The corners can't go back very deep, Keith. They're going to be right there. They know the receivers can't run away from them. So, perfect opportunity for them to come in, break on the ball. And right there, Coleman almost was there quick enough to pick it off.
Corville and McNeil are the wide people. Shoots it in the end zone, incomplete, intended for McNeil, and a penalty flag again out of the referee's pocket, and almost inevitably that's holding.
I think he was looking at number 60, Scott Boucher.
Exactly what it is, offensive holding.
Gerald McNeil, number 13, you saw him for a brief moment there, a little upset. Why? Because when Kelley was scrambling around looking for a receiver, somebody came over, hit Gerald McNeil, took him right down to the turf when he was well beyond the 5-yard checking zone. Ball was not in the air, however. Defensive back didn't get caught, so Gerald just chalked it up.
3:50 to go first half. Ball comes back out to near the 19. Here's Tim Brent.
Keith, they're in the 4-down area. They are really driving down closer, but both teams are dragging. You can see the temperature. It's nearly 120 degrees on the field right now. With the humidity, it's brutal on both sides.
Kelley dumps it off to Harrell. Harrell is hit before he can turn it upfield by Steve Hammond, and the former Demon Deacon takes him down.
Sam Clancy, basketball player from the University of Pittsburgh, turned back to football, was a man applying the pressure to Jim Kelley. They had a screen they were trying to set up, but unfortunately for the Gamblers, one man from the defense was applying the pressure. Everybody else was back waiting to see where he was going to throw the ball, and they knew it was going to be a short pass. Came up, stopped the screen cold. Happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Swan. Mama, I hope you're watching.
From the 20 now. Third down and goal. Remember, they were penalized from the 9. Kelley this time has protection, now runs out of time and throws it out of bounds. He had Vince Corville hovering in the corner of the end zone, but that ball was almost in the seats. So once again, the Memphis Showboat defense does the job.
Certainly do. Under pressure, Houston Gamblers are usually very, very tough when they're in close to the end zone. And been stopped 3 times this ball game.
Out comes Tony Fritsch, who has kicked field goals already of 32 and 43 yards. This one is from 37. It will, if it's good, give Houston the lead. Snapped inside a little bit, but it's down all right, and Tony's kick misses, hooked it. That snap was inside to the holder, and Tommy Myers got it down as quickly as he could, but the rhythm was gone by that time, and Fritsch, with enough leg, hooks it outside. So it remains 7-6 Memphis. Houston, 13 plays, 7 minutes and 14 seconds, no points. And Memphis comes back to work as Leonard Williams pops it over the right side. And this is the kind of a day where you're going to have to use a lot of running backs.
They have quite a few down here in Memphis, so they can platoon them, keep their people fresh. 2-minute warning now being sounded for the first half.
Leonard Williams, coming off a bad leg injury, broke for 9 yards on that carry. He gives them a little more quickness, perhaps, coming out of that deep back position. It's a 7-6 ball game.
There's a professional football league that believes having fun is the most important business at hand. The USFL, where football is still a game.
The preceding message was furnished by the United States Football League.
We're back into the situation now where we could see a 2-minute drill. Both teams have harbored their timeouts. They each have the 3 remaining. And Memphis right now is setting with the ball at the 29, 2nd down and 1. Spencer is the deep back. Sidney hasn't seen it much today. Spencer goes for the first down out to about the 33. So as he picks up the first down, the clock stops at 1:55 while they move the change. Once they get the change in place, the referee will then wind it. But I see no sign of a 2-minute offense at this point. I see a little exchange of verbiage between hostile forces, but other than that,
Yeah, the heat gets high, the tempers get high, they flare up a little bit. Trying to play a very physical football game. Patience runs thin.
first down on the 33 for Memphis. Derek Crawford has yet to see the ball today. Kelley has a lot of time, goes underneath with it, and Harry Sidney can't hold it. And drops it at the 35.
Memphis doesn't seem to be in a hurry at all. Second down.
Back him up a little bit.
You've got to figure, though, in this possession, they're going to go to Crawford, because he hasn't seen it today. We'll go inside the locker room with Pepper Rogers and his symphony at halftime.
Ought to be interesting. Never know what Pepper's going to say. Might start singing one of his fight songs or one of those old Air Force songs at halftime.
Move it back. Come on, players. Move back.
Second and 10, Kelley runs out of time, and he is brought down by Pete Caton as he runs it up across the 35. The clock is rolling along at 1:20. And looks like they're going to spend a timeout. Now, Houston is going to call time and kill the clock on 3rd down and 8, because now they sense they could have some time here using their 3 timeouts to get off some plays. So Jack Pardee spending one there, killing the clock. Houston has not scored a touchdown. They've got 2 field goals, and Tony Frisch missed a 3rd try.
Well, Grupp has not punted the ball very well this afternoon. When he did, it was only because it bounced and rolled along to pick up the yardage, and Gerald McNeil back there to return. If he gets his hands on the football, he might be able to give them an excellent field position on one play.
Let's get back into the regular process.
Pepper talking to his offensive people.
Well, if you can judge the flag at all, and if in fact it has any meaning on the wind direction, whipping around now, but I believe the impact of the wind on the punt going left to right would be to shorten it.
Say more next year.
But the way he's putting the ball, I have him angle it, Keith, to a sideline, because I just wouldn't want Gerald McNeil to get his hands on it.
Nope.
We've seen the Houston Gamblers score easily in less than a minute.
Oh, yes.
With their offense. Kelley, number 12, in red, is Mike Kelley.
Spelled L-E-Y.
Yes. From Georgia Tech. And the other Kelley, Jim Kelley, the white jersey, number 12, from Miami. Seems like there's an awful lot of quarterbacks that love the number 12. Namath, Staubach,
3rd and 8.
Bradshaw.
Doesn't work. Tried to dump it off to Anthony Parker as Houston was able to generate a goodly amount of pressure on him, Van Hughes in particular. And so here's Grupp now with his challenge.
Let's back it up. Now, Mr. Grupp, your team could use one of those punts about 70 yards downfield and about 6 seconds in the air and dies when it hits the ground.
You were a punt returner. It's kind of hard not to get eager here, too, though, isn't it?
Oh, it's not so much eager. It's you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to get too far back. If it's short, you want to come up, make the fair catch so it doesn't get beyond you. Give your team good field position.
Snap was low. Pretty good kick. He got some twist on it and drilled it. Takes a bounce sideways and then comes back up the field. So he kicked it down to the 15. And then it curled back to the 20, so it's a 45-yard punt, and I would say Bob Grupp did his job.
Bob Grupp did his job. There's a flag down on the field. I'm surprised Gerald McNeil didn't back up and take that one, Keith. Maybe he's just trying to conserve as much time as possible.
Post possession, foul, holding, number 41 on the receiving team.
Well, that's not going to help very much. Pepper was hollering about Houston holding. Now he gets dinged. That's the 7th flag.
Larry, we have 3 times.
No, that was holding against Houston.
I think they'll run the ball.
Yes.
Okay. That's right.
I think if they run it, let's call timeout.
Well, he's deciding now what to do with his 3 remaining timeouts. The ball comes back to the 10.
Pepper said in their meeting yesterday he likes to be flexible. Doesn't like to go in with everything too set. Kind of develops a strategy.
Well, he's anticipating they're going to run the ball, at least one of these, perhaps on the first snap from the 10. But the big Irishman might take a deep drop this time and let it go. Now, stays with the short stuff, working to the sidelines to Richard Johnson. And Richard steps out after a 5-yard pickup to the 15.
And that's just like a run for Houston. Well, this little short pass, gets to the sideline, steps out of bounds, doesn't have to use a timeout, but he picks up 6 yards on the play.
Verdun is not in the game right now. Normally, if you think of Houston going for the big one, it'll either be McNeil or Verdun. Verdun's not in there right now. Staying with a short game, that pass is too low. Ricky Sanders coming out, and Ricky had some room. They'd given him some cushion. He would easily have picked up the first down, but the ball was underthrown. 56 seconds now, first half. 7-6 Memphis. I'm surprised at the low score. Memphis defense has really been tough. Intercepted at the 15-yard line by Will Coakley. Coakley's second big play of the ball game.
Number 90, Sam Clancy again in Jim Kelly's face, putting pressure on him. He throws the ball, looking for the screen, but probably not being able to see all the people around the runner, around Todd Fowler, number 46. You see number 90, Sam Clancy coming up. Todd slips. The pressure. Look at all the red shirts around him.
That was one Jimmy shouldn't have thrown, or else thrown it over their head.
That's right. Number 91, Carlton Rose is the other man in there. But Coakley is a man who comes up with the kickoff. And again, Memphis great field position after a turnover. Let's see if they can convert a touchdown.
Well, Van Heflin, the tight end, made one great catch today. This might be a pretty good time to call his number. 50 seconds. End zone. No. Almost, but no. Mike Mitchell defending against Greg Moser. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to that same play because Van Heflin was open.
Van Heflin was open. Moser was open. Beat him on the quick slant coming across. Well, I think here Kelly just got the ball a little bit too late to him. He should have anticipated this one a little bit more. You see the ball being thrown right there. Threw it a little bit behind him also.
All right, we get Gerald Bradley in, who's another wide receiver, so they're going all wide and taking the tight end out of there.
Extra defensive backs in the game for Houston.
Kelly's pass to the end zone corner, no. Intended for number 80, Gerald Bradley, out of Weber State. And a penalty flag is thrown at the 3. Let's see about that one.
Pass interference territory.
Number 39.
Well, Memphis is living in luck right now, aren't they?
Yep. Dennis Devon is the man that they called the holding on. They say I was not holding.
Fourth flag against Houston for 30 yards in the first half. Memphis has 7 flags for 72 yards.
More importantly, it gives them the first down at the 10.
40 seconds to play. Run it with Spencer to the 5. Now they can spend the time out here and talk about things. And they'll have 2 left with 35 seconds to go in the first half. Memphis leading 7-6. Ball marked down at the 6-yard line, not the 5.
The importance of not using up those timeouts early in the ball game. Pepper can use them here, give his team a little break. They can afford to run the ball, stop the clock if they don't pick up a first down, or if they don't score the touchdown.
A 14-6 halftime score for Memphis would be an impressive.
Impressive? Yes, in as much as the Gamblers have had field position. They've been in position to score touchdowns, and defense has shut them down. Not that impressive when you consider what they should have had based on the turnovers they had early in the ball game. And a 14-6 ball game with a whole second half to play against the Houston Gamblers ain't a lot to sit back on your heels and be happy about.
Jim Kelly having one of the rough halves of the year. He's had only 3 completions so far over 7 yards.
Jim, we came out to practice yesterday. When he was warming up, I yelled at him, wanted to talk to him. Jim didn't want to talk to him yesterday. He said I'm bad luck. So he talked to me before a couple of games and they lost, and he wouldn't talk to me. They all get superstitious sooner or later, Keith.
Look out for Derek Crawford. Nope, they're going to stay with the ground game. And it's Spencer running for the corner, and he runs out of bounds at about the 3 or 4. It just depends. It'll be marked in between the 3 and 4. And they still haven't shown the ball to Derek Crumpet.
No, they haven't. Harry Sidney could have really slowed up the progress on that play here. He could have been called for a clip. He was looking to make a block for Spencer, but he had bad position. He had to just really hold back in order not to be called for a clip.
They've got 30 seconds to play in the first half. Memphis, 3rd down now, and goal. The ball is just inside the 4. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. Mike Kelley going for it. Touchdown.
Between number 35, the left cornerback Mike Mitchell, and the strong safety, number 27, Luther Bradley. Mike Kelley had 2 receivers sprinting out, running a pass pattern. They had tight coverage over the top. Said, I can run it in myself. Did a real good job just slicing in between.
So, the Memphis quarterback now has scored the 2 touchdowns. And Duncan for the extra point. Moser puts it down for him, and the kick is good. With 24 seconds remaining in the first half. Good blocking on the right side of the line that time. The pulling man did his job. Now here you watch the pulling man there in front of Mike Kelley.
Right there he gets his cut. As you see Luther Bradley coming up from strong safety position. Kelley doing a good job of getting up in the air and away from Mike Mitchell. And his momentum is what really carried him into the end zone. Mike had not gone low, and Mike really shouldn't go low against the quarterback. To stay right up on him and challenge him right in the chest. They could have stopped him just short right here. But when he goes low, gives Kelley what he needs to get into the end zone.
So Houston has 2 timeouts remaining. They've got 24 seconds to work with on the clock. Verdun will be the man they want to have this kickoff from Don Veselu. It's 14-6 Memphis. With Jacksonville losing today now, see, it was 14-3 I last heard, Tampa Bay leading. Memphis could move up a notch. Low kick, fielded by Verdun. No, Corville. Vince Corville. And Vince Corville comes back up across the 30 to about the 32. They tend to kick away from Verdun, and Houston will move him from the middle to the outside to the middle. And that time they had him outside.
Sometimes they'll just line up together just before the kickoff, and then they'll split, trying to anticipate just where they might kick that football.
Update on that Jacksonville-Tampa Bay game now. It's the Bandits 14 and Jacksonville 10 in the second quarter. From the 32, 18 seconds to play in the first half. And Jim Kelley back a little deeper this time. Everybody playing center field for Memphis, way back. And the pass thrown short to Harrell out of the backfield, and John Corker makes the tackle.
9 seconds left. He had all the receivers going deep, looking for a big play. And, of course, the defensive secondary, well aware of it, just dropped straight back, and all he had was a short man and Tim Morrell.
Can I have your attention, please, with the individual in section 6, row 14, 314.
The temperature at game time was 86. That's walking around in the open, down inside the bowl, as Tim Brandt told you a little while ago, up around 120.
Good luck.
I think Timmy fainted.
No, he's down there sweating somewhere.
Still upright. Kelley back. Has to go short with it again to Harrell out of the backfield. And Sam will have the first down, and they'll have 2 ticks remaining, and probably this time Jimmy will wind up and throw it as far as he can.
If I was Kelley, I wouldn't do it. Everybody will be sitting back there waiting, and his receivers are getting hit hard enough as it is.
Go screen or something like that.
Yeah, something, but don't leave those guys out there to get hung up and beat up.
That's the last time out by Houston, and this will be the last play. They've got to be down inside. Well, they've got to be inside at least the 25 for Tony Fritz really to be fairly secure. Inside the 40, he's a threat. Outside the 40, not so.
We're going to go into the locker room and hear Pepper talk to his team, but I've got to anticipate that Jack Pardee, when he gets his team in the locker room, Keith, is going to say, listen, the score is 14-6 if it doesn't change in the next 2 seconds. So we have played some bad football, turned the ball over, not had great field position, not taking advantage of anything, and we're still only down by 8 points.
Kelley. Does a hook slide. There's a penalty flag thrown. Probably going to wind up holding call, but time has long since expired in the first half. So if it's an offensive call, the half is over. If it's a defensive call, they'll have one more play, and most of the players are already headed. Yep, it's against the offense. So the half is over. We heard part of the conversation in the Memphis clubhouse. We don't know what Jack Pardee said to his team, except I suspect it was rather low-key, and probably to the effect that you're only a touchdown behind, let's go get it. But right now, the Houston defense has to deal with the Memphis offense, as the Showboats will accept the kickoff from Dale Walters, and Walters lifts it downfield to the 7-yard line for Henry Williams. And Williams comes back to the 25. Houston had Frank Corral in for a tryout during the past week because they had not felt that Walters was getting all they needed on the kickoff. But today he kicked pretty well, and Corral apparently did not perform to the point of ousting Walters from that kickoff job. All right, here's Memphis now, leading 14-6 to start the second half of play. First down at their own 25, and there are your halftime stats.
Tuesday. Turnovers big for Houston, really costing them in the first half, but obviously Memphis not being able to take full advantage of it.
Mike Kelley back to throw on first down. Wants to go deep, goes short instead, and Tim Spencer can't hold on as Andy Hawkins lets him have it.
The ball is right in his hands. He should have really caught this one. I don't really think it was the hit of Hawkins that really made it pop loose. Just goes right through his hand and bounces off his shoulder pad.
Mike Kelley has cooled off a little. He's one of his last 6. Houston going without a touchdown in the first half, and it's the first time that's been done for this football team. Of course, we had the oddity last night of Birmingham shutting out Portland 14-0, the first time this year that there's been a shutout in the league. Penalty flags and whistles stopping the play. Now we get a bit of a ruckus, and that probably is part of what happened that drew the flag in the first place. In the third quarter now, Tampa Bay has gone ahead of Jacksonville 21-20.
68 is declined. The personal foul on 68 is accepted.
That's Tyrone McGriff?
Yes, Tyrone McGriff. Baltimore leading New Jersey 3-0. Tyrone got called for motion, and they don't want that one. They'll take the big one because he whacked somebody in the chops right after the first flag. 21-10 is that Jacksonville-Tampa Bay score. I got so many numbers flying around in front of me. On a hot day, it's easy to get messed up. Ball comes back just outside the 12 now for Memphis. And they've got to go to the 35 to get their first down. So they need the better part of 23 yards. They try to run it with Harry Sidney, and Harry just doesn't have any place to go as Houston defensive people played it well. Number 57, Mike Hawkins, was literally in the backfield hunting for the ball before Harry ever got a chance to get started.
Well, the left side of the offensive line behind McGriff and Sharp opened up a pretty good hole. When the hole opened up, Hawkins just filled it. Stopped it from going outside or beyond the line of scrimmage and turned it inside.
Got a couple of yards. They still need about 21.
One day.
And they're looking now at third down and very long.
One day.
Kelley rolls out, buying some time, and now pulls it down and goes up the sidelines and close to the original line of scrimmage. They'll give him to the 23, and in comes the punter, Bob Grupp. I would guess under the circumstances, you figure Houston to have pretty good field position now.
Well, they should. They shouldn't be backed up anywhere beyond their 30, or I'd say beyond their 35-yard line, even if Grupp is able to get off an excellent kick.
Gerald McNeil, the deep man, the 140-pound speedster out of Baylor. Well, it's a good high twisting spiral, good hang time on it. And McNeil takes it, gets one block, but he needed about 3, so he had no chance to get to the picket line. A 41-yard punt, and McNeil is dropped down at about the 37. Well, I'll get the record straight. I picked up a wire story that had that as being the first shutout in Birmingham and Portland last night, and then now got 4,000 people telling me that's incorrect. I yield. I remember Denver beating L.A. 51-0. Kelley gives the ball to Todd Fowler, and Fowler can't get started as Reggie White, number 92, stepped in on the draw to bring him down, and there's a penalty flag across the way.
Offside, 53 on the defense.
John Corker, outside linebacker, trying to get a jump on the snap, came charging in there. Jumped a little bit too soon, and again they're taking advantage of his aggressive pass rush and his angle key by handing the ball off to Todd Fowler underneath, and he's not being that effective taking that angle.
He better pick up his pace today, though, if he's going to maintain his the pace that is projected for him. On Ricky Sanders. I tell you that when you come flying out off the field here at the Liberty Bowl, it gets kind of rough real quick because it's you get into dirt real fast.
Well,
on the sidelines here.
On that field today, it's just dirt all over the place.
Yes.
Sand and dirt all the way down the center of the field, and in the end zone, you see it's painted red and white, big showboats, but it's all dirt, no grass over there.
First down as the ball comes up to the 48-yard line. Richard Johnson going out there, gets the ball, and steps out of bounds. Short pickup as Barney Bussey was over there, and Johnson had no real estate on which to work, so he just stepped out of bounds rather than take the abuse.
They're going in motion, and just as the ball is snapped, they're taking a couple of steps back into their own backfield, so it's almost like a screen pass. And then they create even more of a cushion between themselves and the cornerback. But Johnson's got to be careful, Keith, because I've been watching him throughout the ballgame. When he goes in motion, very often he is headed towards the line of scrimmage, and the officials have not picked it up yet.
Yep. That time he was almost there. This is Verdun now in motion. Richard Johnson, they had 2 men moving. Johnson finally got set, and Kelley realizing that things were a bit of a mess behind him, just turned and gave the ball to Sam Harrell. Harrell is wrestled down about the line of scrimmage. Brings up 3rd down and still about 6.5 or 7 yards. But Johnson started to go in motion.
Penalized me 5 yards for that guy. I got to get everybody back.
But to avoid the penalty, what Kelley did was, when Johnson moved, he's allowed to move and go in motion. But he started, and then he stood there like, oh, shucks, I got caught, I made a mistake. Kelley told him to stop, to stand there, reset, and yelled at the other receiver going in motion to stop. Once they stopped for a second, they were set. He could run the play with no penalty.
And on 3rd now and 6, Kelley gets good protection. Throws it over the middle. It is tipped, and it is caught as a penalty flag thrown as Sanders came back to the ball. And you might have a roughing the passer call here.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 90 on the defense.
Sam Clancy. Reggie White now is after Bill Parkinson on the call, so they're going to add that on to the catch by Sanders. And now the Houston Gamblers are going to be sitting in the catbird seat down on the 27-yard line of Memphis. First down.
And Pepper is not too happy about that one. We'll take another look at it. Number 90 is Sam Clancy. He goes up in the air and tips the ball. Now he comes down. Kelly's right in front of him. And just takes a little pop.
Penalty flags again. Jim Kelley buys time, throws to Richard Johnson. He's loose to the 15. But let's see about the penalty.
Bessel was arguing that Johnson lost the football and he fumbled it. The officials are saying no.
I think it's coming back anyway.
Illegal motion. Number 80 on the offense.
Ricky Sanders got caught.
Yep, turned up too soon.
Are they listening to us up here?
I don't know, but it's pretty obvious. They've been doing it for quite a while. Sooner or later, you knew somebody was going to see it. This might be one of the franchises that would do all right as they move to the fall next year. Billy Donovan, strong, solid ownership here. And next week, we'll be out in Denver with the Denver Gold hosting the New Jersey Generals. Denver's playing Arizona tonight. And New Jersey was trailing Baltimore at halftime 3-0. Last score ahead. Kelley under pressure, gets it off. Clarence Verdun gets a block. Down the middle he goes inside the 15 to the 13.
Clarence Verdun almost got away looking for somewhere to go. Running downfield, number 61, Billy Kidd, trying to throw an extra block.
Leonard Coleman hobbling off the field, apparently twisted an ankle on that play, so they have to hurry in number 29, Mike Fox.
We'll take a look.
Been around out of San Diego State.
Just going to fake it. They're getting a real strong rush from the weak side. They take advantage of it by hitting Verdun with this little quick pop, almost like a screen again. He gets lots of running room, and he goes downfield. Look at the body speed, just flying downfield. Fowler, number 61, Billy Kidd, trying to throw an extra block.
It's first down Houston at the Memphis 13. Kelley gives the ball to Todd Fowler, and Fowler is ridden down by Reggie White after he picks up a yard.
Now here's where the Memphis Showboats defense has been playing tough all afternoon. Leonard Coleman is out of the ball game on the sideline, number 31. He's a starting cornerback.
They hustled Sam Clancy back into the ball game. I think they took Sam out a while ago because he showed some temper after getting the flag, but he's had time to cool off and rest. So John Banaszak, the veteran from Pittsburgh, comes out. He just joined the ball club.
Number 29, Mike Fox, is in replacing Coleman.
Kelley hurries it to Gerald McNeil. There's that little inside turn. And coming across is number 61, Billy Kidd, to make the block.
So right away, Jim Kelley and McNeil hook up to try and challenge number 29, Mike Fox, that has just come into the ball game to replace number 31, Leonard Coleman, who may have twisted his ankle.
Ball is just short of the 5 now with 8:40 to play. And Jim Kelley in this half is 5 for 5 for 41 yards. On the third down call, 3rd and 2. I don't think so for Todd Fowler. They're going to be looking at 4th and short. They have to go inside the 4. It would not appear that he's there. Tony Fritz is coming out for the field goal.
Once again, the defense playing excellent football under pressure in their own territory.
Coleman, we're told, does not have an ankle problem. It's cramps. And this is the kind of a day where you really have some trouble with him. Tony Fritz is hit from 32, 43, and missed from 37 today. And this one will be put down at the 12, making it a 22-yard field goal. 5. That one's dead center. So at 7:54 to play, the Houston Gamblers get more points, but still have not been able to produce a touchdown. And they trail 14-9. To challenge Chiefs Crown, who had gone off as one of the favorites in the Derby. You'll see it next Saturday at 5 here on ABC, Eastern Time. Well, Henry Williams, a yard deep in the end zone, is coming out, and he gets around the corner, and he had one man. If he'd been able to beat that last man, he might well have really hauled it up the sidelines, but Todd Fowler, the running back for the Gamblers, laid a solid tackle on him in the open field.
Henry Williams is only 5 feet 6 inches tall. His nickname is Gizmo. You saw the motion picture Gremlins. There was this one cheap gremlin they called Gizmo, and they say Henry Williams looks just like him. I went down there and took a close look, Houston, you know? I think you're right.
24-yard line. Porter and Sidney now are the split backs for Memphis. Showboats leading Houston 14-9, 7:20 to go, third quarter. And Mike Kelley throwing on first down. Sideline pattern, and it's complete just beyond the marker. Making the catch is Derek Crawford in front of Will Lewis.
Derek Crawford doing a real good job going up. Second line, baby. Homegrown right here from Memphis State. Eventually, you have to see him going deep.
Yeah, he's their deep threat. I believe that's the first time he's seen the ball today.
It is.
Ball just beyond the 35. First down. Run it. Sidney. And Harry out of Kansas. Got close to 5 yards on the carry. Depends on where they mark him from the bounce. And one of the Showboats got up slowly, and now one of the Houston Gamblers is still down. Looks like Kiki Diallo. So it's a pickup of 5 yards, a timeout for an injured Kiki Diallo. 6:22 to go, third quarter. Kiki Diallo has walked off the field, but apparently had suffered some injury to his back. But he's a tough guy. He'll probably come back. The ball is on the 40 now. And Memphis, with a second down and 5, puts Spencer and Sidney in the same backfield. Play action as Kelley rolls out, goes down the sideline. Derek Crawford is wide open. Wide open. Number 35, Mike Mitchell, thought he was going to run a fly down the sideline. Crawford, with his great speed, he took him deep about 20 yards and then turned around and came back.
Harry Sidney is lying on the ground, keeping his backfield feet. We'll take another look at it. He just drove Mike Mitchell off the ball, got him turned around. He turned his back, and right there, he comes back, and that's all it's called, is a comeback. He's got plenty of room, turns around, sees the cushion, tries to cut inside to go for the touchdown, but number 37, Tommy Myers, picks him up.
Harry Sidney, meantime, hurt on the play, and it looks like a left leg problem. The ball is placed down at the 26-yard line of Houston. Kika Diallo has returned to the ball game, and right now they're going to help Harry Sidney off the field. He is pretty much walking by himself now, so either a strain, a cramp, or a sprain of some kind.
Heavy limp. If on days like this, the players have to get that salt and that potassium in their system early in the day or the day before. You can't just say, oh, I've got a cramp, and then take some salt or some potassium and get rid of the problem, because it has to have some time to work into your system. So when you know you're going to play a game like this in this kind of weather, it's important to get that potassium and salt in early.
All right, a big play for Memphis. And the former Ramblin' Wreck now has got him setting first down on the 26 with Leonard Williams lined up in the deep position, and he's got the ball. And he is caught by number 62, Tony Fitzpatrick, like Jim Kelley out of Miami. And Fitzpatrick, who has had all kinds of leg troubles this year, severe knee injury, Tony coming back healthy, makes a big play right there. Not too tall, but he is a windmill in that defensive line.
Bill Sparkplug, he also shares the same address with Jim Kelley.
Yeah.
Lives at his house. He's more like the sergeant of arms around the household.
I'd hate to see it be the burglar got caught in that house. 3-3, Baltimore and New Jersey now with 7 minutes to play in the ball game. So they're playing a tough defensive battle in that one as Kelley drops deep. Mike throws down the middle. Oh, my goodness. Oh, me, Derek Crawford. There wasn't anybody within 15 yards of it. Don't turn on Peppers, Mike. Whatever you do.
No. Whatever you can imagine Pepper is thinking or saying, you're probably right.
Oh, me, he was so lonesome all by himself.
And right now he feels even lonelier.
Watch
having not made the catch. He's wide open.
There's nobody in the picture in white.
Right in his hand. Number 10, Walter Lewis from Alabama, standing next to Pepper Rogers.
Third down now and 10. Mike Kelley slips away. There's a penalty flag thrown. Might be holding. He throws it. Sidearms it to Anthony Parker, and Parker is knocked out of bounds inside the 10, but don't count on that one. That's it. Comes back.
Well, that's okay. Village has to complete the pass, force the defense to take the penalty, so you get the down over again. Even though you have longer distance to go, it's still third down, as opposed to not completing the pass and looking at fourth down in a very long field goal attempt.
Comes back just outside the 35. Where it's third down and about 20. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to play third quarter. A lot of flags.
A lot of flags.
On the red shirts.
This is a big drive for Memphis, Keith. They need to score the points, but as important is they're giving their defense a chance to rest.
Crawford! Did he intercept it inbound? Yes, he did. Great play at the 10-yard line by Verwood Rockmore.
Number 38.
Verwood Rockmore in on the special pass defensive coverage. We'll take another look. Looks like the receiver is going to be open here, but the ball takes a lot of time to get there. It's a long pass. It's a good pass. It's just a little late. You see right there, Crawford's open, but it's Rockmore that comes over, makes a good catch.
At 4:03 to play, the Showboats have turned away on the interception. My question is, does he in fact have possession and
the answer
legally
is
as one? Now, where is he? He hasn't stepped yet.
He has one possession, there's one, but the second step is out of bounds. And as usual, the cameramen have a great angle, even if the officials don't.
Put a challenge.
Too late now.
From the 10, Houston, first down. Jim Kelley hit, shakes him off, hit again on the blind side this time, pursuing. Sam Clancy was the first man. Calvin Clark was the second man that brought him down, and the third sack of Jim Kelley in the ball game.
Well, Kelley got lucky. He ducked away from the first one, but Big Clark came right on in. Calvin Clark.
Calvin Clark is from Purdue.
Calvin came up to me, and like I think half the players on each football team said, Lynn, tell my mother and father I said Happy Mother's Day. So for all the guys on the field, to their mothers, Happy Mother's Day.
From the 12, Kelley gives it on a trap up the middle to Harrell, and Sam gets out to about the original line of scrimmage, just the 10 or just beyond it.
Matter of fact, this might be the most appropriate day all the football Sundays for a player to say hi, Mom. Has anyone said it yet? I think one guy. Pepper did, yeah.
Ball just over the 10. 3:05 to go third quarter now. Scott McGee, wee wide audio picture. Need 10 yards. Kelley in trouble, and they've got him back on the 5. Sam Clancy and Will Coakley. Reggie White coming up the middle.
And it's one of the outstanding defensive collaborations in the USFL. Outstanding line rush. Sam Clancy, Reggie White, Calvin Clark, linebackers holding ground, filling the holes, and the secondary covering like a blanket.
And Grupp now is standing at the back of the end zone to punt it out.
Let him punt it. Don't take a chance on roughing the kicker.
Henry Williams is deep.
Because if they block this punt,
Dale Walters. I said Grupp. Dale Walters. Walters can be very inconsistent, but once in a while can just kill it. He gets it up pretty high, but it doesn't have great length. And the catch is made by Henry Williams, and Williams comes back just short of a 35. So Walters gets a 36-yard punt out of it, and a 6-yard return by Williams, and Memphis getting in pretty good shape. Here in the third quarter, the Memphis offense has been beating on the Houston defense. And they're leading 14-9. Sidney, we're told, who went out a while ago, has a groin injury and may not be able to come back. Right now, you've got Anthony Parker and Tim Spencer. Parker the fullback, and Spencer the deep back. Back it goes to Kelley, a form of the flea flicker, throws down the middle, and this time, grabbing the ball and tumbling down is Derek Crawford. He was so intent, I think, that time on making sure he caught it that he may have given up some real estate.
how many times do you see it? Receiver or player comes back, they make a mistake on an easy pass play, on an easy situation. Then they come back, and when it's tough, you got to lay your body out. You come up with a great catch, and that's a real good, super catch by Crawford.
Boy, he was wide open to the corner. There's nobody over there. Nobody. First down from the 16, Spencer. Good block on the left side. And Tim is inside the 12, Andy Hawkins. Brought him down. Louis Sharp and Tyrone McGriff opening the door on that side.
That time Spencer was just a shoelace away from breaking that run.
50 seconds now left in the third quarter. And the Showboats are down very near the Houston 11. Spencer has 9 carries and 44 yards in the ball game.
Louis Sharp, Tyrone McGriff, 67-68. NFL experience. Big guys, bright football players. Louis Sharp says he likes working with Tyrone. He knows exactly what he's doing to make a great pair on that left side.
Ricky Porter is in replacing Spencer. Kelley getting the heat. Running out of bounds. Number 93, Jose Taylor, almost got him. But then he ran away from him.
Yeah, that'll make the hair stand up on your neck pretty quick. 93, Jose Taylor in Houston, third year at 6'4", 270 pounds, 26 years old. Looks like he was running about a 4.6 or 4.7 40-yard dash after Kelley. Third down. Need some points.
Snap coming from the 14. Handed off to Leonard Williams. And Williams to about the 9. That may have been the last play of the third quarter.
6 seconds and counting down to the end of it, Chief.
I'm a little surprised. In fact, I'm quite surprised at the low score. After 3, it's Memphis 14, Houston 9, and we will continue after this message and the words from our local station. Alan Duncan in for a field goal try from 27 yards. Now for Memphis. Duncan's kick is good. So the former Tennessee Volunteer, who went to high school in Kenya, knocks it through, and the Memphis Showboats have gone out to a 17-9 lead after 3 seconds of the fourth quarter.
But the primary question is it good enough?
Well, so far, yes.
So far, yes, but
make a note here that the founder of the Liberty Bowl and an old friend, wonderful man, Bud Dudley, has been named the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame's Outstanding Contributor to Amateur Football for the 1985 award, and the award will be presented at the annual Liberty Bowl luncheon here in December. I've been here for a few Liberty Bowls myself over the years, and it's always quite a spectacular event. of my life made very little tin right here at Liberty Ball game. It can really get frosty sometimes. Sometimes it's gorgeous in December. Vince Corbell and Calvin Eason are back deep with Clarence Verdun. And they may move them around a little bit. Right now, they've got Verdun lined up on the near sideline, hoping that they can hide him. And Don Besselou will kick it to him. And by gosh, he does. Right to it. At the 10. He got a little bit of a crack and got it back out to about the 28-yard line. And there they'll go to work. 17-9, Memphis with an 8-point lead.
Take a look at the stats at the end of the third quarter. See that Memphis has the edge in total yards. They turned the ball over twice compared to the 3 for Houston. What it doesn't tell you is that the score is 17-9. Memphis with a lead, not really able to convert on all of its scoring opportunities, and that Houston is being dominated by the Memphis defense.
Jim Kelley sets him up. Looking for a deeper pattern, but still has to go short to Fowler coming out of the backfield. And a mighty collision as between Fowler and John Corker and Mossy Cade. It's first down as he gets to about the 44.
Last week, Fowler took a shot while catching a pass coming across the middle against the Portland Breakers. As I told you earlier, that hit caused him a concussion, blackened his eye, had about 8 stitches along the side of the eye. And take a look as the 3 people converge or 2.
That's a bell ringer.
Oh, yes.
Doug Flutie
might be a little dizzy in the backfield now.
Doug Flutie has scored on a 5-yard run with 3 minutes to go, and New Jersey's gone out over Baltimore 10-3. Kelley back on the first down play, gets it off, pass is good to Johnson, and Richard Johnson goes shooting to the sideline and picks up another first down. Now it begins to look like they're finding some holes in the Memphis defense as we check in with Tim Brandt.
Chief, just before the Gamblers offense went back on the field, I talked to some of the offensive linemen and asked them what the problem was, why the guys are coming through cleanly. They're having trouble picking up that outside linebacker. Then I went to the receivers, and they said they are very frustrated because they feel they're open. But Jim Kelley's taking too long because of that pressure. He's setting up, taking too long to find them and throw it. So what they're trying to do on this series is release it quicker, and that's exactly what Jim Kelley has done the last 2 completions.
And he's 7 out of 7 for 70 yards in this half. But still, no touchdown. Pass was thrown a little bit behind Ricky Sanders, but no reason why Ricky couldn't have caught it. He was looking to go inside on that little cutback move, picking up the block, and he was looking to see if it was there. And the ball just went right on by.
He'd gotten downfield. He was running back, got behind his lineman. It's more like a screen they were trying to set up.
And he's doing that. He's pulling his foot out with 2 men in motion.
That's Pepper talking to the officials, talking to him, trying to get him to be aware of a situation that he feels that Kelley's moving his foot while he's got a man in motion, thus creating a situation with 2 men in motion, which is illegal.
Up the middle on the blitz, the pass is away, Sanders is out there, touchdown Houston. They nailed Kelley as he released the ball, but it was long. In fact, it was perfect. And down for the touchdown went Ricky Sanders. Now do they go for 2 to tie, or do they take the 1?
I don't think they go for 2. You see the defensive line shifting there. You see Corker coming up the middle. Number 54 also coming up the middle, and then the pass is thrown. Kelley, having all the confidence in the speed of his receiver, just lays it to the outside and led Ricky Sanders with the throw to the open area. Number 47 is Don Besselou, traded to Memphis from Jacksonville about 3 weeks ago.
They're going for 2.
Did not get there in time, and they are going for 2.
And try to tie it right here. 13:21 to go, third in the final quarter. Kelley throws it. Good. No, he didn't hold on. Didn't have possession. Richard Johnson seemed to have it in the end zone, but now they rule it off. No.
and the world is upset. Number 61, Billy Kidd, was getting just a little bit too close to the official and arguing the call.
That is back to us. I don't know. Maybe the replay will show clearly. Bill Parkinson there talking with the other officials. No good.
Now the question is, will Pardee challenge it? He's signaling to the official to come over. I think he will. Because I think the receiver went back and said, Johnson went back and said it's a good catch. He wanted him to challenge the call.
There it is. Yeah, let's take another look at it.
You know, in the game we did with Birmingham, we had a case where we felt that there shouldn't have been a challenge, and Jim Smith failed to tell the coach that the challenge wouldn't be reversed, and they wasted it. We'll take a look here in the replay. Johnson goes up. There's the catch. He's down.
Ball's coming out.
Ball's coming out. On the ground, no control. I think it'll stand, Keith. Of course, then again, I was wrong in Jacksonville last week. We'll take another look at this. Different angle.
This should define it right here.
Yes, you have 2 feet on the ground, the ball in control.
Didn't have it.
Did not have it. Johnson, Richard Johnson, possessing the ultimate in confidence in his own abilities, I think, made a critical error in terms of costing his team a timeout and going back to tell Pardee that he had control.
Well, if he had just grasped the ball and then dropped it, it'd been one thing, but he really never did.
Lost it on his hip.
There's a professional football league that believes having fun is the most important business at hand. The USFL, where football is still a game.
The preceding message was furnished by the United States Football League.
Richard Johnson still hot, believing that he had control of it. But they rule otherwise. They lose a timeout. The kickoff, 2 yards deep in the end zone. Henry Williams, who was fearless, slipping and almost falling, coming back across the 20 to the 22. And there is a penalty flag in his wake, and it was thrown by the referee.
Above the waist from behind, number 27, over the return.
And Memphis has been flagged again. Blocking below the waist on the kick return. That'll cost them some yardage. Here again is the play involving the 2-point conversion try to Richard Johnson.
You see he goes up. He's got the ball, 1 foot down. He's already losing control of the ball before his second foot hits. Clearly he doesn't have control. But in going for 2 points, they don't hurt themselves. Because without getting the 2 points, they still are behind by a field goal. If they kicked the extra point, they would have been 1 point shy and still needed the field goal. By going for the 2, they could have created a tie, even the ball game up.
Memphis has been flagged 12 times now for 129 yards, and they start from their own 13, and popping out of there is Tim Spencer on a good, tough run to the 19. So they move it from the, the 8-yard line up to the 19 and 11-yard pickup for Tim Spencer.
And here is when a running back who needs to carry the ball 15, 20, 23 times a ball game, who gets better each carry, really becomes an important factor in this ball game. If he's running hard and running well, it'll help them control the ball, with safe running plays while eating up the clock at the same time.
He's averaging 5.5 yards a carry on 10 carries today. Kelley quickly to the sidelines to Derek Crawford. And Crawford hits the chalk just short of the 26.
The 24, Will Lewis, is the man who pushed him out of bounds. Third-year ball player out of Millsville.
Pace of the game is quite deliberate considering the heat and humidity. enough, they go back to Spencer. And that is tough. The ball popped out of there.
I think
Fighting for the extra yardage, lost control of the ball, but red shirts are all over it, and Memphis keeps it.
Crawford, number 9, wide receiver, came in. I was watching him. I thought he was stopped at the line of scrimmage, not keeping up with his 5.5 per carry average. But right here, he just keeps the legs running, turning, leaning forward, picks up the yards, but the ball is just stripped, pulled away from him. But Crawford alertly covering on the play.
And it's first down Memphis at the 38. So the Showboats a little lucky right there. They go back to Leonard Williams, and Leonard, no, it is not. It's 26, Ricky Porter. And the young man from Slippery Rock hammers out another Memphis first down, and now they're starting to cut up the middle of what is probably a tired Houston defense.
Everybody in the Houston side is getting up a lot slower. Number 27, Luca Bradley, the strong safety, in on that tackle. Took a good while to pull himself up.
They've been out there a
long time. Look at it from ground level. See the traffic he has to weave in and out of. Peripheral vision is very important here. It's almost a matter of sensing where people are, not so much seeing them directly.
Ball is on the Houston 49. Mike Kelley goes to throw and got a man over there. That's the tight end, Gary Shirk. And they've thrown Shirk out just short of the first down, but they picked up at least 9 yards on the play. Gary Shirk played in Memphis previously in the World Football League with the Memphis Grizzlies. He was here for a year and a half, played 7 years with the New York Giants. It might be time to think about going fishing. It's time for Moorhead State. 10 years of pro football.
Yeah, I think after a deal like this, you could drink a lake or a river.
Spencer is back in for Memphis at the 40, 2nd and 1. Spencer has it and has the first down as he's inside the 37 of Houston. Rayford Cooks made the tackle. Rookie out of North Texas State. And New Jersey was leading Baltimore 10-3 with just a minute or so to go in the ball game. Spencer lost the football, and Rayford Cooks has recovered for Houston. Spencer never had control of that pitch back from Mike Kelley. It popped out, and Cooks was right there.
Hey, he spiked the ball! He spiked the ball!
Rayford Cooks did spike the ball. Pepper wants a call. They called it on Van Hempelen earlier in the ball game when he spiked it. Pepper's a funny guy. I mean, here's Spencer fumbles a football on a big drive. They lose possession of it. What's Pepper yelling about? He's trying to get 5 yards.
Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Acquisition of real estate. 5 yards the other way makes it a longer march. The Memphis Showboats are leading 17-15, and it's almost a miracle because they've had 12 penalties. The quarterback's been sacked twice. They've turned it over 3 times. Now, that's a total of 17 mistakes. Normally, you make that many, you're going to be on the deficit side. But not so yet. Jim Kelley sets Houston at the 39. Gives the ball to Sam Harrell. And there's just nothing there as Reggie White and company stacks it up. Jim Kelley in this half has completed 8 out of 9 passes for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. 9 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the ball game.
And that 1 touchdown to Sanders was only the 3rd time in the ball game, and he threw deep. He's looking at a pretty darn good secondary back there. 2 young cornerback rookies, but they're great physical players. Barney Bussey, strong safety, and of course the veteran Don Vessel, a free safety.
Kelley gets it away down the middle. Penalty flag. Ball is caught by Gerald McNeil, who fouls his way to the 44. But let's see about the penalty. It could well be a hold.
Holding 60
Number 92, Reggie White, is on the ground, Keith, and he is not getting up.
Now he's going to get up. He's just resting for a minute. We got a final score now. New Jersey has defeated Baltimore 10-3. Herschel Walker with 118 yards on 29 carries. That's the 6th consecutive 100-yard game for Herschel. And the New Jersey Generals now are sitting right around the top of the Eastern Conference. Ball is back at the 29 now. 2nd down and 20. Kelley setting up a screen over there. Clarence Verdun. And they get Verdun as he comes back to about the original line of scrimmage, the 38. So it'll be 3rd and long for Houston. New Jersey Generals with an 8-4 record. And we don't have the final in yet from the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville between Tampa Bay and the Bulls.
We talked about Herschel Walker in another 100-yard game early this week. Dick Steinberg, the player personnel director for the Patriots, said that he didn't think Herschel was a great back. I called him up. He told me he was misquoted. He felt that there were only a couple of guys in that upper echelon. So Herschel was a very outstanding back.
Kelley drills it past good to Sanders, and Sanders hauls it down for a 1st down at the Memphis 47. Boy, that one had some steam on it.
Yes, it did. You know, I only mention that, Keith, because no matter what happens in this league, what this league does in 1986, there's one thing I think no one could deny, that there's a lot of talent on many of these football teams, guys who can play in the National Football League, play anywhere, and be stars there. And I would hate to see any team hold a grudge against these players and not pick them up and not use that talent if it ever becomes available.
On 1st down, a little pop over the middle. Kelley throwing to Johnson. And it depends on where they mark him as to whether or not it is a 1st down. And they're going to give him the 35, and that will be a 1st down. And here's a final out of the Gator Bowl. Tampa Bay defeated Jacksonville 21-10. And so the Tampa Bay Bandits now have gone out to a 9-3 record on the season. And they will continue to lead the Eastern Conference.
It just means that their head coach of the Jacksonville Bulls, Lindy Infante, can stop getting a haircut every Saturday. One of his little superstitious quirks. He was winning, got a haircut every Saturday, and was playing 9 holes of golf.
Kelley back. 1st down the middle. Sam Harrell. And Harrell is dropped at the 26, close to another Houston 1st down. It's 17-15 Memphis with 5 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the final quarter.
And that 17 points that the Showboats have on the scoreboard now is looking pretty small.
Well, the defense has been able to come up with some big plays. They need one right here.
Tony Fritz probably isn't warming up on the sideline. He doesn't want to waste any motion.
Kelley bootlegging. Gets it off. Incomplete. Penalty flag. They're going to call him for grounding. There was nobody over there. Let's see about this. Referee Parkinson threw it.
Number 58, Will Coakley, had him in the grasp, was pulling him down.
One of the motion on the offensive decline, intentional grounding is accepted.
They call grounding.
Intentional grounding carries with it a loss of down, Keith. We'll take another look at it. Will Coakley is the linebacker, number 58. You see him right there on the left. Running parallel. He grabs Kelley here. He's going down. You see Kelley throwing the ball. Now let's see if we can find the receiver anywhere in the area. There's one in the end zone. I can't see where the ball ends up.
Way out of bounds.
Way out of bounds and way short of any receiver. But I've seen some, Keith, that have been very questionable they haven't called.
Oh, sure.
But there's Fritz. Probably psyching himself up, picturing the ball going through the uprights. He's kicked enough to know what the motion is like.
Wipes out a big gain on the catch by Harrell. Makes it 3rd down and 10. Kelley running for his life. Pumps it, keeps it, and takes a lick short of the first down as Kelley just put his head down and he ran into Reggie White and Steve Hammond and Carlton Rose. And I know that Jim Kelly's a big, strong Irish fella, but he can't win nothing.
There's got to be some smaller people for him to take on. That big Reggie White. 6'6", 285 pounds, and Carlton Rose, 6'1", 220. Well, he's 215, so I don't know, he can go after Carlton Rose, but I'll leave that big fella Reggie alone.
Houston has called a timeout, and the obvious thing they're talking about is whether or not they want to send Tony Fritsch out to try for a 44-yard field goal. I think maybe they might have to do that. The Houston Gamblers have elected not to send Tony Fritsch out for a 44-yard field goal try. Instead, they're going to go for the first down on 4th and 2. Ball is just outside the 27 of Memphis. Pitch out, gets away from Todd Fowler. And he is knocked down back outside the 40. There's your big defensive play for Memphis. A mistake by Houston, but Memphis covered it. My goodness.
A lot of frustration on that Houston offense right now. Fowler does not normally make these kind of mistakes. The ball is right there. I can't tell how much velocity he had on it. Might have come in pretty good, but nonetheless, he still should have caught it. That one little mistake gave the defense all the time in the world to come up and to make the stop. Now giving the offense possession of the ball at the 42-yard line.
And 3:38 to play in the ball game. Porter and Parker are the running backs for Memphis. It's Porter. And Ricky Porter out to about the 45. Pick up 2.5. Houston has only one timeout. Now, they called one a while ago to make the decision. They've now spent the 3rd one right here. But they had called a timeout to talk about field goal or go for it. They lost another timeout on the unsuccessful challenge of the 2-point conversion. And now they've just been charged with their 3rd timeout. So they'll have it here to stop the clock at 3:21, and they'll get another break at the 2-minute warning. There's the time at a 2-point lead for the Memphis Showboats, and the Houston Gamblers are now without any more timeouts. Houston defense has spent a lot of time on the field in the second half on a hot, muggy day. They've got to try to brace up and stop Memphis. They're not going to have a whole lot of time remaining when if they do get the ball back.
I think there was a key drive that Memphis made. They didn't get any points out of it. At the end of the 3rd quarter, they kept them out in the field and wore them down a bit.
Big time killer. As well. Handoff is inside. Anthony Parker. And Parker's about 3 yards short of his first down as he pounds up near midfield.
Here's where that balanced offensive attack really comes in handy, having the ability to both run the football and throw the football. Memphis came into this game being number 2 in the conference, rushing the football, second only to the New Jersey Generals.
Of course, Pepper Rogers took over the offense himself 3 games ago. Charlie Waller's departure. Ball is directly on midfield. It's 3rd down and 2. They don't get it. Parker slanting in over the left guard. And he does not get the first down. So it'll be 4th and about 1.5 yards.
Yeah. We saw how quickly Kelley did get his team on the scoreboard for their only touchdown of the afternoon. All you need to do, once he takes possession of this football, if they decide to punt here.
Well, Pepper Rogers now has indicated to Mike Kelley that they can let the clock wind down to 2 minutes. They don't have to get a playoff, and I think he's right.
They'll get the 2-minute warning.
They'll have time to talk and decide what they want to do on still 4th down and about 2 yards to keep it, or whether or not they want to go ahead and kick it away. I know what I'd do.
Punt it.
You got that right. 2 minutes to play in the football game. The Memphis Showboats leading over the Houston Gamblers by a score of 17-15. And the New Jersey Generals have beaten Baltimore 10-3. Well, all I can say, and I've known Pepper Rogers for a long time.
Oh, no.
Even going back to his quarterback days, and he was a member of the great Georgia Tech teams in the 50s.
I think
He's either going to go out there and run the clock very long and try to pull them offside with a long count. They're already down to 9 seconds, 8 seconds. Now they got Moser in motion. They're going to go for it on 4th and 2.
trying to draw them off sides. You told the offensive line to watch.
Well, they'll take the 5-yard penalty instead, and now they'll punt. I was about to say, the clock's still running.
The clock shouldn't have been running at all until the ball was snapped.
They got to reset that clock. Got to reset the clock.
They ran about 16 seconds.
I was just about to say that if he does indeed go for it and fails, oh boy, I would make sure he had an escort and he'd walk along the river.
Yeah, only if they got that touchdown or that 3-point to beat this team, to beat the Showboats, would he need that escort?
They got to put the clock back to 2 minutes, don't they?
Yeah. Just going to keep a running time themselves, Keith, for 16 seconds and then signal the official timekeeper to start the clock.
Bill Parkinson had come across to visit with him for a moment. Bob Grupp is in to punt. Gerald McNeil is a very important person here, as well as Bob Grupp.
The clock has been reset, Keith, to 2 minutes.
Yeah. Grupp's punts have been 48, 31, 45, and 41. McNeil, one of the most dangerous receivers in the league.
Grupp to angle this one to the right.
McNeil coming up for it, takes it, bobbles it, gets a block. Gets 2 blocks, 3 blocks, and puts Houston on the Memphis side of the field. But a penalty flag is in his wake, however, so hang on.
I think it's against Houston for an illegal block, Keith.
Above the waist and behind, doing the return, number 50.
So Ricky Young got nailed with the penalty flag, and that wipes out a big return by Gerald McNeil. And with 1 minute and 50 seconds to play, the ball is going to go way back to the 20.
Well, maybe if he had made that block, McNeil wouldn't have got that far.
Possibility. 37-yard return. Now they place it inside the 20 and move it, place it at the 17.
Keep in mind, the score is Showboat 17, the Gamblers 15. There's the block you saw right there, right behind McNeil as he crossed the 30-yard line. They need just to get a field goal to take the lead.
They got 1 minute and 50 to work with, and no timeout. Ricky Sanders.
He should have got out of bounds. Ricky should have stepped out of bounds and stopped the clock right there. Instead, he juked, played with the clock. It's still running. He did not pick up a first down, 1 minute 30 on the clock.
He got 7 yards at 2nd down 3. They've got the first down with this catch by Clarence Verdun, and he goes out of bounds just short of the 33-yard line. The clock stops anyway, remember, in the final 2 minutes of each half. That's the change of rule. But once the change is placed, the clock winds. At that time, he got out of bounds, so they have time to go to their huddle. Remember, anything outside of 40 yards is a risk. Minute and 16. We're talking about Tony Fritz, the place kicker. Kelley goes to the sidelines again, and they don't get out of bounds, but they do get the first down, so that'll kill the clock, and Houston's got to come up and call the play at the line of scrimmage. That was Gerald McNeil making the catch. He had Richard Johnson, who had slipped into the seam back there, but chose to go to the more open man, McNeil. Coming up on a minute to play. Little quick pop goes to Sanders, a little too high. Ricky couldn't pull it down. And had he caught it, he would have had that ball down inside the 40.
Going for the one-handed catch. Reached out and just couldn't bring it in with one hand. Come on.
You've now got 59 seconds to play in the football game. 2-point Memphis lead. Houston trying to get it far enough down the field to give Tony Fritz a chance to win it. At least. If they can't put it in the end zone.
Have to move the ball 30 yards downfield to give him a shot at about a 40-yard field goal, Keith.
Kelley's pass is overthrown under pressure. John Corker and Reggie White were all over Jim Kelley, and he aimed it at Scott McGee, and the ball was too high for McGee.
Under pressure and under Corker all at the same time. Reggie White there for extra added weight.
It is now 3rd down and 10 from the 44 of Houston, and Tony's ready if they give him a shot at it. If he has a chance at it.
Well, if you're way back and you don't think you can get a touchdown, it's your 4th down.
By Walters.
Yeah.
This is the 3rd down play over the middle, and Sam Hurrell does not have the first down on the impact, but he turns around on second effort and bangs his way, pure strength, to the 45, and that should be a first down. 46 seconds to play.
They're shuttling the fullbacks in and out, Todd Fowler and Sam Hurrell. They hold the 2nd and 3rd best rushing games records in the USFL. You watch him right here. Guy makes a catch, knows he's going to dive, and just pick it up.
Got a good mark. Kelley back. Throws short. Fowler trying to get it out of bounds. They don't get him out of bounds. They don't get him out of bounds on it. He went down inbounds, and the clock is still going. Coming up on 25 seconds, and the Gamblers hurrying, trying to get a play. They have placed the ball at the 40. 20 seconds.
No timeouts for the Gamblers.
15 seconds. Kelley back. Gets it off. Deflected at the line of scrimmage. Brett Williams, a nose tackle, reached up and slapped it aside. Number 63. And it is 3rd down and 5.
You got Williams in there. You had John Banaszak. You had 3 different reserves in there, Keith. Trying to get some fresh people in there to put pressure on Jim Kelley. Now they've got the other people. Reggie White back in the ball game. Clark's back in the ball game.
Kelley's 33 out of 50 for 291 yards. 162 of that have come in the 4th quarter. It is 3rd down and 5. 10 seconds. They got one more shot at it before they've got to send the kicker out.
What do you do? Go for a touchdown or go for field goal placement?
I'd go for field goal placement. That's what he's done. Give it to Fowler. And Fowler does not get to there. He does not get there. He is short of the marker. He was ridden out of bounds. They mark him down inside, and the Memphis Showboats have defeated the Houston Gamblers by a score of 17-15. They just simply did not allow Todd Fowler time to get downfield for the first down to kill the clock. So put one on the scoreboard for the Memphis Showboats defense.
A big one on the scoreboard for that defense because they're going up against the #1 offense in the league.
Now let's go to Tim Brent.
Well, gentlemen, I'm telling you, that was some defensive ball game.
Oh, that was. We played the best offense in football and held them to 1 touchdown and played so magnificent. They played a great game defensively also. We couldn't ever get anything solid going on them, and Jim Kelley didn't make but one mistake throwing an interception. But it was truly a great defensive effort.
Officer and a gentleman. You going to keep with that?
Well, like I said, that's one of my favorite songs of all time. And well, the Eagles fly, no mountain too high. We just keep playing.
I think knowing the game of football and having talked it with you, when you look at the mistakes that your team made and they still win like this, they had to really reach down on a day like this.
Well, Tim, I tell our players all the time, talent without attitude is nothing. And we have some talent on this team, and their attitude is good. And when you do that, no matter what happens, you always retain what you need in football to succeed, whether you win or you lose, and that's effort.